name, but the brainchild of director Robert Zemeckis was somewhat bolder, as it was not just a story of Beowulf's glorious feats, but also delved into the hidden corners of psychology, which we had never known before.
Still the mighty hero, unmatched in strength, intelligence, and prowess, but behind the glittering glory that wow remembered for eternity lies the weekends of candidacy, and cowardice in facing one's misa, and that makes us wonder what a hero truly is.
Welcome back to the channel. Today let's rewind time to the year 507, when demons ravaged the lands of Denmark. In 507, the legendary warrior Beowulf and his soldiers came to Denmark to help the king defeat Grando, the monster that had attacked the castle, rejoicing at the appearance of the heroic king opening the Harad Green Road, which had been closed after the horrifying massacre of Grando, and Beowulf was treated to a sumptuous feast. Almost immediately, Beowulf was drawn to the beauty of Queen Bel. When night fell, Beowulf ordered his lieutenant and soldiers to sing loudly to lure Grando, without realizing that the singing and noise had infuriated the monster immensely. It broke through the castle gates and attacked those inside. Amidst the chaos, Beowulf calmly stepped forward, barehanded. He believed that Grando did not use weapons to attack humans, and for the sake of fairness, Beowulf would only fight with his bare hands. Ultimately, the hero used a giant wooden door to sever Grando's arm, causing it to flee back to its lair in pain. Beowulf's glorious feat was quickly rewarded and praised by the king. In addition to half the kingdom's treasures, the king also bestowed upon Beowulf a golden drinking horn engraved with the image of a dragon, the symbol of the old king's victory over the legendary dragon. In anguish over the death of her child, Mother Grando rushed in, seized the monster, and slaughtered all of Beowulf's soldiers in one night. The hero became horrified and enraged that the king did not warn him of this danger. The king's advisor, deeply regretting his past humiliation of Beowulf and his soldiers, out of respect, gave him the family heirloom sword Runting to slay the monster. With the help, Beowulf found Mother Grando's lair. Here, the hero ventured into the cave alone and noticed the golden drinking horn that the king had bestowed upon him shining in the darkness. From the calm surface of the water, Mother Grando appeared in the form of a beautiful woman, promising to turn Beowulf into a mighty king. But in return, he would have to leave the golden horn and give his 3 sons to replace Grando's position. Returning from the cave, Beowulf told the king that he had slain the last demon. However, despite Beowulf's boasting and the story he told, the old king expressed doubts and asked if he really killed her. This made Beowulf extremely confused. Realizing the strange attitude of the old hero, the king cheerfully replied. Immediately after, before all his courtiers, the king declared that he would pass the throne, along with his queen, to Beowulf. Without hesitation, the king then cast himself into the sea, and Beowulf's nightmare began from there. Many years later, Beowulf is now an old king, becoming fearful of the sins and mistakes he made in his youth. During the celebration of his heroic exploits, Beowulf encountered the old advisor of the former king, who had become a monk in a nearby village not far from the capital. He revealed that he had found the golden horn, something that according to Beowulf's account had been lost in the battle with Mother Grando years ago. Beowulf was horrified to realize that disaster was about to fall upon his kingdom. That night, a giant golden dragon attacked the village where the old monk lived, to eliminate the threat Beowulf had faced in Mother Grando's lair years ago. However, the hero unexpectedly encountered the golden dragon, a creature identical to the image engraved on the golden horn given to him by the king. With one final effort, Beowulf managed to defeat the dragon and perished. Before he died, he tried to tell Wiglaf the truth about his relationship with Mother Grando and the fact that the dragon was actually his son. However, Wiglaf adamantly denied it and chose to trust his chancellor instead. As the new king, Wiglaf organized a funeral for Beowulf in the style of the northern warriors, and as the ceremony concluded, he unexpectedly found the golden horn buried in the sand. Seeing Mother Grando emerge from the depths of the sea, tears welled up in his eyes as they looked at each other. In contrast to the image of a flawless, indomitable hero familiar to audiences, the heroes in Beowulf appear flawed. When first meeting the king, Beowulf was questioned by the advisor about his capabilities after losing a swimming competition. Beowulf admitted his defeat but immediately recounted how sea monsters hindered him, embellishing the story by emphasizing the looming storm and the 7 sea monsters he bravely fought off without hesitation. However, as the swimming competition was about to conclude, he was dragged down to the depths of the ocean by a sea monster, and he had to use his sword to defeat it, ultimately resulting in his own loss. Beowulf's account contradicted his memories when in reality, what dragged him down to the ocean floor was not a ferocious sea monster but a beautiful mermaid, revealing his deceitful nature. So why did he fabricate such stories? Because Beowulf wanted to preserve his reputation from actions that did not align with the title of hero. He was willing to lie if the truth did not benefit his reputation. Thus, Beowulf continuously exaggerated the exact number of enemies he had defeated. This helped him protect his honor, elevate his importance in the eyes of others, portraying him as the living legend who saved the entire kingdom from the worst nightmare. Therefore, Beowulf was compelled to constantly boast about his accomplishments. However, there were 2 individuals who saw through the facade. The first was Beowulf's deputy, the Chancellor, and longtime friend. He was no stranger to Beowulf's character and actions, somewhat understanding the necessity of protecting Beowulf's honor. Because just one indiscretion against societal standards could likely tarnish Beowulf's illustrious reputation. Understanding his chancellor's concerns and facing Grendlow, he believed that soldiers needed to focus before the battle. However, the tavern was full of lust, soldiers indulging in alcohol, teasing women, and singing vulgar songs about slaves. They were not focused on the objective or aware of the looming danger. So when witnessing Beowulf constantly boast in front of the king and the people about how he defeated the Grendlow monster, only he left the tavern. His honesty and sobriety saved him from the horrifying night when Mother Grendlow came to massacre the drunken soldiers in their sleep. The second person who saw through Beowulf's facade was the king. Like Beowulf, the old king was also once a hero in the eyes of the people, praised for slaying the legendary dragon, leading the punitive expedition to expand the realm. In some ways, Beowulf was the younger image of the king. However, like Beowulf, the king's thoughts and emotions were driven by desires for power, wealth, and women. Both became arrogant in the face of praise, constantly embellishing their own narratives to protect their ego. The grand hall of the castle became a symbol of deception, of dishonest words far removed from actions, but there was something even more dangerous than deceit. Something that both feared when confronted, that was the sin within the human self. In the Bible, the original sin is the root of every mistake that humans can make, whether it be greed, envy, sometimes wrath and pride. However, what truly gnaws at the souls of both heroic kings is desire. That sin becomes the primary cause for Beowulf to distort the truth in each of his exploits. The moment the mermaid approached Beowulf and he dropped his sword, it most clearly demonstrated his true nature. He was completely blinded by desire, losing his honor when he showed compassion towards the grotesque creature. Because of that, Beowulf dared not tell the truth when facing Mother Grendlow. His hesitation and confusion were seen through by the king, for he himself had once succumbed to carnal desires, and the Grendlow monster was the result of his youthful mistake. He told Beowulf that Mother Grendlow was no longer his curse, but implied that Beowulf had taken up the curse in his place. One day, like the old king, that curse would come back to find Beowulf, just as it found him. The golden horn that Beowulf left in the dark cave became a symbol of sin. And when Beowulf's golden horn was found, he was horrified to realize that it was time for him to face the mistakes of his past. Grendlow, the 2 dragon offspring that appear at the end of the film, are the most authentic representations of the sins that both heroic kings have committed. They realize that no one, no lord, can save their souls. Therefore, they reject faith and divinity, more than anyone else, both understand what awaits them. Perhaps the old king was luckier than Beowulf, for he had Beowulf to rescue him from the terrible nightmare, while Beowulf would have no one to come to his aid, for the age of heroes has passed. Now, as the old king, Beowulf is remarkably wise. Perhaps after many years of living in fear, tormented by sin, Beowulf has realized that heroes are merely flawed humans. Their glorious deeds are built upon deceit, masking their desires, craving to be remembered by posterity. The two heroic kings always boast their names before the people, for when one dies, their body decays beneath the earth, leaving only the name to be perpetuated for posterity. That's how heroes become immortal, but it also means their shame will always endure. Throughout the film, we never see the true form of Mother Grandlow, for she always appears as a beautiful woman. When Beowulf ventures into the cave, we catch a glimpse of a grotesque creature clinging to the wall. So why bother transforming into a beautiful woman to confront the young hero? When Beowulf tries to explain that he did indeed kill the hideous witch, the old king said. This implied that Mother Grandlow saw through their true selves, becoming a mirror reflecting back their deepest desires, desires they wanted to hide. Grandlow, with her decaying body, symbolizes the corroded and hollow soul of the old king, while for Beowulf, who is always immersed in the glory built upon lies, the giant dragon with its only weakness at the neck connected to the heart becomes a symbol of dishonesty. When the dragon attacked the village of the elderly advisor, he cried out in agony. That statement, or the sins of the father, is a biblical phrase. Furthermore, those sins are the result of mistakes made over generations, becoming a vortex of endless evil. And upon hearing these words from him, both Beowulf and the old king became terrified to the extreme. Because they realized they were pivotal players in that tragic drama, both kings always sought to escape their mistakes. They hoped that one day a hero would come and rescue them from the nightmare, but both had incurred a debt they could never repay. The cycle of sin continued relentlessly from one person to another without end. At the end of the film, when the golden horn symbolizing Beowulf's sinful desires is found, Mother Grandlow appears once again. She looks at him as if she were looking at the young Beowulf, inviting him into the whirlpool of sin, the source of the nightmare, Beowulf once said to his wife. This is the moment when one truly becomes a hero by daring to stand up and correct one's own mistakes, once and for all. Using state-of-the-art 3D animation technology, Beowulf Epic is a magnificent and epic masterpiece of unparalleled quality. The work brings a completely fresh perspective when discussing the dark side of legendary heroes like the Old King, who always waited for someone to come and fix all their mistakes. It's about cowardice, being willing to abdicate the responsibility of protecting the people by handing over the runting sword to someone else, or being unable to overcome one's own desires. Like Beowulf, what are true heroes? They are flawed individuals deserving of their curse.